We've been above like 10K per day and even 15K per day during high seasonalities. Um, and that is when we're running, or what's the best way to say this? That's when we're running mostly highest volume bidding and stuff on Facebook. And that's when you can, when the season, I think Phil Keel has talked about this a decent amount, but whenever you get into bigger seasonalities, like for us, it's Q4 with like Christmas, and then Valentine's Day is really big for us, stuffed animal care packages, and then Mother's Day we see a small bump. So during these time periods, um, we can scale up quite a bit, and we don't have to worry as much about every single order hitting a certain efficiency. Um, But then, like right now, we're running um, one CBO campaign, bid cap, trying to control efficient. Like this is total dark side of advertising.
Is that
Is
accelerated bid caps or just
yeah,
regular bid cap?
one CBO with bid caps, one broad scaling ad set, one creative testing ad set at the same bid cap as the scaling ad set, and then the only other audience we have in there right now is we're testing uh, the Shopify audiences 2.0, and it's efficient, but it's not allocating much spend. I just don't know how much scale there is with those audiences. I know they do refill, um, but yeah, those are the three audiences we're running, and during an off seasonality time, we're trying to maintain efficiency more than we are trying to push volume. Because in these off seasonality times for us, even trying to push volume, like we just lose so much on efficiency during off peak times that it doesn't trade off well with the, even if we're at an increased order volume, the losses in efficiency just don't, the increase in order volume does not outweigh the loss in efficiency for us. Um, so it may be different for other brands where you can still kind of push the order volume, um, and decrease efficiency a little bit. But for us right now, we're running bid caps just because we really have to control efficiency over volume.
Right. And for the bid cap campaign, that's mostly just for like when you guys aren't as efficient, just to help with that.
Yeah. So once we get, I'm assuming once we get back to um, Q4 territory, maybe even pretty soon, we'll switch back to highest volume and kind of play that dance again of pushing volume and losing out a little bit on efficiency. But the seasonality swings so much with stuffed animal care packages that, um,
I can imagine.
yeah. So yeah, and we're running one CBO campaign now, but I imagine once we get into higher seasonality, we'll be running multiple campaigns as well, probably either a CBO or ABO, uh, purchase objective, and then also advanced shopping campaign as well.
Yeah. And when it comes to deciding with CBO, ABO, you don't have a preference, or you kind of just do what was previously done on the ad account, or how do you currently go about that?
Personally, I don't have much of a I don't think there's that much of a difference between the two campaigns besides what you control um, between the two campaign types. So it's just whatever makes most sense for whether it be like creative pop pipeline, like creative testing and descaling. If it
Yeah.
makes more sense to do that in ABO, um, then it makes more sense to do that in ABO. Or if you have a ton of different audiences that work besides broad, and you want to force more spend into them, then maybe that's also a case for ABO. It's just what you prefer to have control over, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Where are you running creative tests? Like, what campaign are you putting creative tests into?
Right now, we're running it in the same, so it's one big CBO campaign, and then we have three different ad sets. We have the broad with the scaling like proven creatives, and then broad for creative testing. And that we just filtered new creatives into the creative testing ad set, and then they they either allocate spend or they don't. If they don't allocate spend, that to me says Facebook did not predict that we would that this creative would drive purchases at the same efficiency as the creatives in the scaling ad set. Um, and then yeah, and it's actually surprising when a creative gets a lot of traction in the creative testing ad set. Sometimes the spend does shift over dramatically to the creative testing ad set. Um, and then either if the spend stays in the creative scaling or the creative testing ad set, um, we may have to make another ad set for creative testing and then have two scaling ad sets.